Alrighty, good morning, evening, afternoon. Today I'm at Hitoyoshi Station, a major junction station that serves 2 train lines. The only problem is no trains run here. Both of the train lines have been wiped out by natural disasters, floods, torrential rain. Both of those are gone. While they're being rebuilt, you cannot ride a train to this station. So in this video, I've decided to see just how difficult it is to get to this train station. And it turns out, from at least where I started, it's quite difficult indeed. So Hitoyoshi in southern Kumamoto Prefecture was served by 2 train lines, intersecting it from 3 directions, and both were at least partially destroyed in some way by the 2020 Kyushu floods. The first is a private sector railway called the Yunomaya line. This line actually continued partial service even after the floods, but the full service to Hitoyoshi won't open until September this year. The next is the Hisatsu line. The stretch up to Yatsushiro has actually already been allocated the funding needed to rebuild it, but that won't be ready until the mid-2030s. It's the portion going down south that's actually the most rural and really has the biggest question mark as to whether it will actually ever be rebuilt again. It also has no real substitute transportation, which is great for me because this is the exact direction from which I'll be reaching Hitoyoshi. So the plan from Osumi Yokogawa Station is to first take the taxi up to Ebino, and then from here we can take a highway bus all the way up to Hitoyoshi. I thought it'd be very nice and simple, but it turned out to be a bit more complicated than I expected. Alrighty, and I'm back here at Osumi Yokogawa Station after taking a shuttle bus from Kirishima Onsen Station, where I ended my last video. Check that out if you're interested, although of course after this video. I will say it is nice to appreciate this station when there aren't about 500 people crowding it. It's a really beautiful old wooden station. I think I said in the previous video, one of the oldest in Kyushu for sure, and it really deserves a more kind of quiet, tranquil atmosphere. Even now there's obviously a lot of people walking around, so it's not exactly perfect, but it's a lot better than this morning when I first came here. I saw a taxi and I wondered if that's mine, and I assume this guy's the taxi driver. He just kind of like pointed at me and was like, "You." すでに何かありましたか？はい、そうです。はい。ですよね。そう、エビの雪ですよね。はい、エビの。はい、お願いします。
これは高速通った方がいい、下通っていった方がいいの。
あ、はい、わかりました。
どっちがいい？
私はどっちでも大丈夫です。時間はそんなに厳しくはないので。
はい、いいですか。じゃあ下行きますね。
はい、お願いします。いや、わざわざここまで来てくれて本当にありがとうございます。
バスで来られたの今？
そうで、シャトルバスで、霧島温泉から来ましたが、でも人吉に今日は人吉に行きたくてね。もちろん電車は今やってないだから。
やってない。
そう。だからとりあえず海老野まで行って、で高速バスで人吉まで。そうそうそう。
すぐ近くにあります。
はい、そうですね。はい。
予約してあるの？
高速バスの？予約はしてないんですが、必要なんですか？
あれどうかな。ひょっとしたら予約はいるかもしれない。
So here's the thing, the taxi ride from Osumi Yokogawa to Ebino took around 30 minutes, and now I know a lot of you love a bit of Japanese yapping, and so did our taxi driver Oda-san, because we chatted for pretty much that entire time. Now, I'm not going to subject you to all 30 minutes of that because the video would get boring pretty quick, but of course one thing he mentioned about the bus reservation was kind of stuck in the back of my head for the whole time, and once we arrived in Ebino, it kind of became clear that it wasn't quite as simple as I first thought.
こっから入って。
はい。
これ熊本方面、福岡方面ほら。熊本方面、福岡方面ほら。はいはいはい。高速バス。ここが入ってここに入って。ここがバスで、ここに高速から降りてきた高速バスがここに着きます。ここから乗るわけ。はい、わかりました。ここに着くからここから乗るわけ。乗る。はいはいはい。でここは待合所。はい。でここ時刻は
スケジュールですね。じゃあ熊本行きかな。じゃああれですね。14時44分のやつかな。
これやったらね。福岡のあれやったら予約はいるよ。
ああ、そうですか。
福岡やったら電話ここほら。熊本行きに乗った場合はいらないと思うけどね、多分。ほら、完全予約制路線のため予約なし乗車はできませんって書いてある。予約なしで予約取った方がいいんじゃない？
いや、取ってないんですよ、私は。
いや、だから電話すればいいよ。
今から？はい、こんにちは。今、海老野 IC のバス停にいますが、海老野から南部号を通して人吉に行くなら 予約とかは必要でしょうか？はい、今はエビの IC の高速バス停にいますが、エビの IC から人吉までの、今日の予約はできませんか？そう、今はね、予約は、もう遅いんですね、なんか予約取るには。取れる区間ではないので、ここで待って、もし空席あれば乗れます。でも、もしなければ、待つか、あるいは他の方法で行くとか。
乗れるって
空席あれば、そう。
空席あると思う。
ああ、そうですか。じゃあ、あれに。
予約、その時は空いて乗れるって。
はい。そうです、はい。そうです。Geez, what an insane saga. So first of all, that taxi ride was absolutely gorgeous. We were just skipping through the countryside. He asked me if I wanted to go by the Kosokudoro, the kind of high-speed highway, or just regular roads. I said regular roads. I'm not in a rush, and it would have cost more money. And I'm really happy that I made that decision because it was absolutely beautiful. But then, kind of disaster struck because in the middle of kind of us chatting, he was like, "Oh, by the way, did you get a reservation for the high-speed bus?" And I said, "No, I don't think you need it." And basically, the long story short is. You do need a reservation, but the bus I want to ride should have free seats. But that's not even the best part. The craziest part is that bus, which I'm going to be riding, is in about an hour. And the taxi driver said, "Oh, it's really hot. I don't want you to walk from here," which I'm staying at a Michinoeki, which is basically like a roadside stop for a highway. He said, "Oh, I don't want you to walk in the sun, to the bus stop. So I want to wait here and then pick you up to drive to the high-speed bus stop for an hour." Like, he's gonna wait an hour, and he's like, "Oh no, I'm not gonna charge you. Don't worry about it. I'm just gonna pick you up." So, anyways, I'm just gonna chill in this Michinoeki. The thing with these Michinoeki, these highway stops in Japan, is that they're not like in the UK or maybe America, where it's just like a Mackey's and a Starbucks and that's it. It's like they put effort into it. I mean, behind me you have stalls, and then inside you have kind of like locally grown food and stuff. You have like a cafeteria. I've already eaten, so maybe I'll just have like one or two little snacks as I wait. But I mean, what do you want me to say? What an awesome little just experience. So in the back here you have a little kind of like car boot sale-esque thing, and then over down this way you have like people selling plants. This is such a nice atmosphere. It feels so different from just the crazy, frantic calling various numbers I just went through. But I'm probably gonna maybe pop to the cafeteria. I've got like 40 minutes or so. Quickly get a bite to eat, and then just the guy will send me off, I guess. こんにちは。私予約はしてないんですが。はい、ありがとうございます。じゃあ、小田さん、ありがとうございます。本当に。はい。そう、7A ですね。はい、では、またね、ありがとうございます。はい。よかったですね。はい、そう、よかった。はい、ありがとうございます。And we're here, except we're not, because the interchange station is a bit out from Hitoyoshi proper. So what I'm looking at here is I'm looking at a timetable. Let's take a look. So right now it's 15:08 and one left 8 minutes ago. So that's not going to happen. So what I'm probably going to do is walk, I guess, in this heat. Yay! I guess if I had it, I could use this bike rental system, but I don't have the app and I don't have any data to download the app. So yeah, I'm walking. I don't know how long it's going to take. Maybe like 15-20 minutes. Well, there's only one way to find out, and that's to go and walk it. I've got a very old tobacco machine here, look at that. So according to a sign just back there, they've just finished pollarding the trees, which means that when I'm walking, there is absolutely zero shade on the pavement. So I can burn. So if we turn down this way, I believe we should be able to see a rail bridge, one which is currently not being used, but at least the private rail line that runs to Hitoyoshi should be starting to use it later this year. I'll talk more about it when we actually get to the station in question. We've got a very kind Bosoku gang. I don't know if you call them Bosoku because they're just dudes on their bikes. Usually Bosoku are people who kind of ride at night and just rev their engines because they want to be loud and bombastic and all that good stuff. And those guys were they were nodding to me and saying thank you very much. They were very happy and nice. But anyways, here we are. This is a crossing which is currently not being used. But as you can probably see, to zoom in a wee bit for you guys, the crossing indicator thingy-mabobs, I believe that's the official term, they look quite new, and that's because they are. This was all kind of fixed very recently, I think, because the private railway at least is going to be reopening in a bit, and all of this, I guess, was destroyed in the floods and various natural disasters that have plagued this area. And you can see over there you've got some koinobori as well, I believe it's called. Basically, how do I say, rising fish, climbing up fish. Basically, I think it's used to represent kids growing up and all that stuff. And it's usually done in May. And it's May 31st today, so we're just about there. But anyways, here's another view of the bridge. I don't know, if you ask me, that paint looks pretty new. The foundations don't though. So I guess there's one thing to address, something I won't be doing in this video, and that's riding that private railway, because it is actually very interesting. It's still technically running, but this bridge, because it got destroyed, and another bridge down there all got destroyed, a massive one actually, which they've rebuilt. The line basically got severed between Hitoyoshi and then another station on the other side of the river, but that side is still running. The problem is that it's a pain to get to that one station where it's still running from, and oh boy, how do I explain this? So on the weekends it has a pretty fair schedule, maybe like once an hour or something like that. You can work with that. Today is a weekend, but it's already 3 p.m. I've not yet checked in, I'm exhausted, I'm tired. I don't want to do that because what I end up is I have to find a bus or a taxi, go there, probably ride there, ride it back, and not even explore the area, which for me there's just no point in doing that. So I'm not going to be riding it today. Tomorrow I'll still be here though, so you might think, okay then Brandon, just go tomorrow. Well, that's also not going to work because for some reason on this line, on weekdays, there's barely any trains at all. It's just two, like at 7 in the morning, and then a few at 4 or 5. So obviously they're timing it for people who work and kids and all that. Not useful for me, unless I want to get up at like 6, which I don't really want to do. So I'll ride it maybe once all the lines here get fixed. I'll take a train to Hitoyoshi, I'll take that, it's called the Kumagawa Tetsudo. I'll ride that and we'll be all happy. But that won't be for quite a few years. But you know, give me something to do if I want to come back here at least. So yeah, that's the plan, or rather the plan of what I'm not doing. Sorry if it's disappointing, but give me a break. I've had a day. So if we follow down this road, we should reach Hitoyoshi Station. Should only be about 5 more minutes. Oh, please, make it be over. While I wait for the man to turn green, there's a little thing. 忘れないで優しいKumagawa ni hisomu. Oh, this is basically flooding. Yeah, it's not an old thing for this area. Oh boy, I need to go. It's gone green. Sorry, it just caught my eye and I was like, oh, what does that mean? But yeah, this Kumagawa has been a thorn in the side of this area for, I imagine, a long time, and obviously more recently, for the train lines and all the infrastructure around it, it all got destroyed. But kind of almost miraculously, it's being rebuilt and revived. It will take a while. I think it took a while to basically sort out the money for it in the first place, never mind getting started on it being rebuilt. But you know, I really hope I'm in Japan for long enough to be able to ride it because I've heard you've got some crazy stations. Like there's one, I don't even know how you'd explain it. It's a station which kind of has to be accessed by this big loop. It's kind of like a switchback loop, bibbidi bobbidi boo special system. It's got other switchback stations. It's crazy because it's just cutting through the mountains. And it was designed like that because the government, I think it was made by, you know, whatever public corporation ran the trains. They wanted to build it through the mountains so that it was hard to attack from other Asian nations or whatever. So they built it like that. But then the Kagoshima main line, which goes across the west coast, you know, through Sendai and all that stuff. This is Kagoshima Sendai, by the way. That was built, and then that basically just superseded it as a quote-unquote main line. So then it just became a little remote mountain train, really. And these days, I'm still shocked it's surviving, honestly. I don't know how they did it. It's all thanks to, you know, a lot of people must have really tried hard to you know, keep it alive, and they succeeded. So, you know, not just me, if you want to go ride it when it opens, go support it, because if we always talk about, oh, lines shouldn't shut, and then we don't ride it, then, well, we're just being hypocrites, aren't we? And if we turn this corner, we should be face to face with, yes, there it is, Hitoyoshi Station. Oh man, how long has this place been on my bucket list? Maybe a year and a half? Yes, and this is what initially kind of, how do I say, dragged my attention to this station. The fact that it's got this castle monument here. Now there's like a park where there used to be a castle and all that stuff, so I guess it's from there, but yeah, would you look at that. Alrighty, and we've finally made it to Hitoyoshi Station, so we can answer the question, how difficult is it to go to a station without any trains? And the answer is, if you're on one of those high-speed bus routes, yeah, pretty easy. If you're in the middle of nowhere with no train service and no public transportation at all, yeah, quite difficult. But anyway, so obviously I'm here and I'm in Hitoyoshi. I don't know how long this video's been going at this point, but I reckon we want to see a bit of the town, right? Yeah, let's do it. But let me just check in and have a shower and get changed and all that stuff. And I'll maybe do it today, or maybe record it tomorrow, because I'll be here tomorrow as well. So I'm gonna have to do some editing stuff. I'll figure it out, but after, you know, let's just cut and we'll visit the area. Alrighty, and it's the next day, and I've got about maybe 3 or 4 things I want to show you about Hitoyoshi, and one of them is actually the train station. So although obviously it's closed, well, closed is, you know, a loose term, the train lines are closed, you can still actually go into the station and check out its platforms and stuff. So, you know, while we're here, might as well go check that out. So one thing, that is obviously the main station, but one thing I wanted to take a look at here is something called Kumatabi. Now, I mentioned earlier, you have a private railway operator here, Kumagawa Tetsudo, and they run a short train through a few towns in kind of the local area. I'm not quite, it's one of those third sector railways which are kind of struggling, but here's the ticket machine. But the problem is, let me see, okay, here you go. So this is the schedule on weekdays, and you can see there is a massive gap. So you've got one at 6 and then one at 7, and you just got nothing here. And then if you want to take it, you have to wait until 4 p.m, which it doesn't really work for me. So if you wanted to come on weekends, it's a bit better. It's, again, you have 2 at 6 and 7, then you have one at 12, 1, 3, you know. It works a bit better if you're, I suppose, a tourist and you want to ride these train lines. But I mean, it's Monday now, so certainly giving up the dream on riding that train line. But in any case, let's see if we can check out the platforms at Hitoyoshi Station. And yeah, here you are. A 3-platform station, so clearly you can tell a station which was quite a major, I mean, it was pretty much the big station in this part of the Hisatsu line, which goes all the way up to Yatsushiro, then all the way down to Hayashi. It used to be a main line that went down to Kagoshima, but then the Kagoshima main line was built, and this just basically fell into relative obscurity. But you can see down there, there's actually a train for the Kumagawa Tetsudo. I guess it's stranded here because you get the bridge back there is, you know, obviously been destroyed. It's being rebuilt, but so this train can't really go anywhere. But over there, if we zoom in even more, that brick structure is one of the oldest still used train sheds, I believe, in all of Japan. Well, still used is, I suppose, a bit generous, given that no trains are running here, but I suppose when they do, I wonder if it's still going to be used or not. Hopefully. So yeah, unfortunately, Hitayoshi's been quite unlucky in terms of its railways. It used to have a steam locomotive. I think it was literally called Hitoyoshi SL. And it was a very famous steam locomotive that used to run kind of a heritage railway through here. But then before the floods happened, that went because I think it just got too old. They couldn't maintain it anymore. And then soon after, the floods happened and the whole railways got wiped out. Now the Hisatsu line, including Hitoyoshi, a bit before it and then all the way to Yatsushiro, that's currently being rebuilt. I think they're planning on it being rebuilt in 2033. And unfortunately, I think a few stations are also going though with that rebuild. They've decided that some of them are just a bit too difficult to build and the passenger numbers don't justify the cost. So I suppose, if it means the rail can come back, I guess it's a cost, it's a price you have to pay. But I believe there is something over there we can look at in terms of the SL. I can't remember if they display it or I think there's a museum. Well, I just heard a whistle, so that's a good sign. Let's go and see if we can check it out. Oh, bloody hell. So I actually ended up taking quite a lot of footage of me exploring Hitoyoshi, so I've decided to split that out into its own video, which I'll be releasing on my Substack. It's completely free, has everything on there. I'll give you a link down below where you can watch the video and also read about a few other interesting tidbits I couldn't talk about in the video. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Alrighty, and I think this is a far more suitable view to end this video, and I hope you've enjoyed it, and I apologise, it's probably been a bit slapdash. Things have just gone a bit crazy, up, down, left, right, and when that happens, the video doesn't stay as coherent as you maybe would like it to be, but that's all a part of travel, isn't it? So from here on, I'm going to go down, get lunch, and then head on to my next and final destination for this kind of hodgepodge trip that's kind of formed in mysterious ways. But I really hope you've enjoyed Hitoyoshi and the frantic trip to get there. I really have. But for now, stay safe and have a good one.